Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throw Out Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and on this episode, I'm paying tribute to the God of Thunder and the King of Asgard, Thor. Now, Thor was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1962 in terms of being a superhero, but Thor is a part of Norse mythology. And this went back even centuries before the creation of Thor. He's one of my favorite superheroes. Of course, his real name is Thor Odinson. And, of course, on the big screen, he's played by Chris Hemsworth. And really love this character. And I really love, like, all the writers that have been on the book, especially that of one, J. Michael Straczynski, who really brought Thor back from the dead, both figuratively and literally. And all the other writers, including Jason Aaron, who even brought Thor to even greater heights after Straczynski's run was over. And also, not to mention, Straczynski also co-wrote the script for the Thor movie that came out 10 years ago. But really love this character, one of my favorite superheroes. And this is a Thor Comic Hero tee. You see the Thor logo, and then the Viking tribal sleeve stripes. And then inside the speech bubble, you have the temporary engraved words on Mjolnir, which says, "Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor." If you would like your very own Thor Comic Hero tee, you can find it on my website, IamTheComicHero.com, for $17. All right, have a great show for y'all today, and also have some very shocking news that I want to share with y'all. Something that y'all thought, and at one point I thought, would never happen. And that's coming up later on. But for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked which late night talk show host was the 2008 presidential candidate in the Marvel Universe. Well, the correct answer is Stephen Colbert. And he even won the popular vote. Well, 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names are in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Tyler McGaw from Portland, Maine. So congratulations, Tyler. Free Comic Hero tees. All right, here's a question for next week's episode, and this is a Thor question. Despite being Asgardian, Thor was born on Earth. What country was he born in? Now here's some hints. The first hint is that this country is a Scandinavian country in Northern Europe. The second hint, the king of this country is Harold V. The third hint, some of the cities in this country are Oslo, Lillehammer, Drammen, Bergen, and Fredrikstad. And then the fourth and final hint, some famous people in this country are chess champion Magnus Carlsen, actresses Kirsten and Natasha Malthy, and cross-country skier Therese Johaug. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Now, the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight is usually reserved for fans to make requests, but every once in a while, I like to come out with some of my own, and this one features two behemoths. My apologies to every English teacher I ever had. And, 2 behemoths, one from the DC universe and one from the Marvel universe. Representing DC, we have the Shaggy Man. And representing Marvel, we have Sasquatch. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Shaggy Man versus Sasquatch. The Shaggy Man possesses superhuman strength, stamina, invulnerability, healing factor, reactive adaptation, and immortality. Sasquatch possesses superhuman strength, endurance, durability, and stamina, regenerative healing factor, sharp claws and teeth, and the ability to leap vast distances. Who will win? This fight would consist of punching, and more punching. The two would do this for minutes on end. The Shaggy Man would then decide to play dirty by delivering a swift kick below Sasquatch's belt. Big mistake. Sasquatch unconsciously reveals his other power. He becomes a Hulk-like version of himself. Sasquatch then delivers a massive beatdown, throws the Shaggy Man into a nearby river, and drowns him, going untouched in the process. Sasquatch wins. A few days later, the Shaggy Man's dead carcass is found by a gator. The gator goes in to eat the Shaggy Man, but the latter instead eats the former. I did mention that the Shaggy Man's immortal, right? Okay, good. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed that fight, and I'll have it known for next week. Now, if any of y'all have any requests, go ahead and make them. It's pretty much anything goes, but nothing too outrageous or anything like. And I mentioned this fight shamefully, but 50 Cent versus Iron Man, no, nothing like that. I mean, you could be a comic book character versus a video game character, be another comic book character versus another comic book character. I mean, as long as one comic book character is involved, I will feature it. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are two things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and here's the first. Now, a while back I gave y'all the news of Jackson Hyde graduating from being Aqualad to become the new Aquaman. But now we find out what exactly happens to Arthur Curry. Arthur Curry is not going to die. As a matter of fact, he is going to be in a limited series from DC alongside Green Arrow called Deep Target. It's coming in October, and I can't wait to read this book because the last time that there have been a whole bunch of tandem books, since then. I mean, there was the Hawkman and Atom book, and then there was Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, Superman. And but this is the first time that Oliver Queen has been teamed up with someone in a miniseries, or any series at that matter, since he was teamed up with the Hal Jordan Green Lantern back in the 60s and 70s. And I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a great, I know this is going to be a great read. It's going to be written by Brandon Thomas, who's also writing Aquaman The Becoming. And it's going to feature art by Ronan Clicquet and Ulysses Ariola. And DC is really doing a lot with this Infinite Frontier line of books. And let me tell you, I know the best is yet to come. All right, now the second hint. I'm sorry. Now the second thing I'm going to talk about, in Comically Speaking, is the news that Sam Jones, Flash Gordon himself, is going to be a guest at GeekCon, and he's doing this as a part of the 40th anniversary release. I almost said 80th, I meant 40. The 40th anniversary release of the Flash Gordon movie. Of course, it came out in 1980. Was supposed to do it last year, but the pandemic. The pandemic hit, and so now that the pandemic is nowhere near as bad as it was last year, he's going to go ahead and do it now, and he's stopping at GeekCon. And if you want to meet Flash Gordon himself, Sam Jones, you're going to have to come Sunday, because Sunday's the only day he's going to come. And don't just support him, but also support all the other famous people that are going to be there, whether it be Scout Taylor Compton, Murr from Impractical Jokers, Alice Cooper, so many. And then also, I'm going to be a vendor there.
So y'all come out and support us. GeekCon is back, and it's the only main con in North Louisiana. So
just like the song by Loretta Lynn, y'all come. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 70. The Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 2. Avengers number 46. Batman number 110. Captain America number 30. This is the final issue of Ta-Nehisi Coates' run, a great run, and if you're reading and everything is going to continue in the United States of Captain America, which is currently the first issue is currently out right now. Children of the Atom number 5. Crime Syndicate number 5. All right, now, remember when I told y'all at the beginning that I have some very shocking news to show y'all? I mean, y'all gonna find it shocking. At first I found it shocking, but it was kind of scary to do, but I went on ahead and did it. The Edge number 1. Now, this is a book that was created by Marvin Wynn from Pittsburgh, PA. And this is an indie book. Now, for those of y'all that know me very well, I'm scared to death of reading indie books. But then my friend Rodney Colon from Florida had suggested this book because he knew that I mainly read DC and Marvel. But he told me about this book, and I contacted Marvin Wynn, and Marvin had sold the book to me. And really looking forward to reading this. This is the publishing company of this book is Second Sight Publishing. I'm gonna read this, and then next week I'm gonna let y'all know what I think about it in Comically Speaking, and I'll let y'all know. There's really no doubt in my mind that this is judging by the art alone, that this is a great book. So there you have it. All right. Extreme Carnage Alpha, rather. Sorry. Green Lantern number 4. Hellions number 13. The Immortal Hulk number 48. Justice League number 64. The Next Batman Second Son number 4. Suicide Squad number 5. Teen Titans Academy number 2. Teen Titans Academy number 3. X-Force number 21. And finally, and I'm also excited about this book, X-Men number 1. Now I want to show y'all this. This is a double cover. That's a double cover done by regular series artist Pepe Larraz. And it shows all the members of the X-Men. There's the Laura Kinney Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey. And right here is Rogue. Then you also see Sunfire, and then and then Polaris.
All right, that's 19, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,712.
All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show.
Despite being Asgardian, Thor was born on Earth. What country was he born in? Now, here are the hints again. The first hint, this country is a Scandinavian country in Northern Europe. The second hint, the king of this country is Harold V. The third hint, some of the cities in this country are Oslo, Lillehammer, Drammen, Bergen, and Fredrikstad. And then the fourth and final hint, some famous people from this country are chess champion Magnus Carlsen, actresses Kirsten and Natasha Malthy, and cross-country skier Therese Johaug.
Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Tyler McGaw from Portland, Maine, who won a free tee on this week's episode.
All right, on next week's episode of the show, part of the Summer of Superheroes, I'm going to wear not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 comic hero tees. And the reason I'm wearing 4 comic hero tees is because I'm going to show some love to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are original comic book characters. They're created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in 1984, and then they became cartoon characters. Currently read the series for IDW. I love the series. I love these 4 characters, whether it's been, whether they're the comics, the small screen, the big screen. I mean, what have you. I've always loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm going to show some love to the boys on next week's episode.
All right. I didn't want to talk about this at first, but I kind of feel like I do. A few days ago, we lost a very young and promising artist with the passing of Robson Rocha. Now, Robson Rocha has primarily been an artist at DC, and his last work was a 2-issue miniseries called Immortal Wonder Woman, which was part of DC's Future State line of books earlier this year. And that just lets you, one thing, it just lets you know something about life. I mean, your life is very precious, and it's also a gift, and we have to treasure that gift very well, because even we're still in this pandemic, and it's not completely gone away. I mean, it's not as bad as it was last year, but it's still there, and that just lets you know that even with this pandemic, and then with other and then senseless acts of violence and all these other hurtful things going on in the world, that just lets you know that you can be here today and gone today. And so again, life may be short, but it's also a gift, so use it wisely, cherish it wisely, live every day to the fullest. And to the family of Robson Roca, if you're watching this, or if you're watching this and you're a fan of his artwork, or you're one of his co-workers at DC, or you just happen to personally know Robson, to have known him, I'm hurting just like y'all were, because I have a lot of his artwork. I mean, a lot of the books that he had done artwork on, including in Immortal Wonder Woman, and there just are no words. But again, life is a gift. Live it to the fullest. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on The Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 364. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and have at thee!